it's Stephanie. Welcome back to my channel. So today I'm going to bring you my March TBR. So I have a pretty ambitious TBR this month. This is my second TBR video. It really worked for me in February, so we're going to continue the experiment and see if it works this month too. So the first part of my TBR is really exciting to me because it is for March Mystery Madness. And this is the first year I'll be participating, and it is hosted by a few different ladies on YouTube. I can't think of who it is at the moment, but I'll link their channels down below so that you can check out their videos. They're always so fun to watch, and I'm so excited to be participating in this. So there are 5 prompts for March Mystery Madness. It's a month-long event, so from March 1st to the end of March. And the prompts that they have are really flexible, so you can double up on challenges, you can interpret them your own way, so it's really easy to find books that you want to read for this event, as long as they are some kind of mystery, or they have a mysterious aspect to them, or whatever. And then there's also a bonus challenge. So let's just jump right in. So the first challenge is old. And that could be reading an old book, reading a book with an old protagonist, you know, anything. So my book is Bowled Over by Victoria Hamilton. This is the second book in the Vintage Kitchen Mystery series, and I chose this book because the main character collects vintage kitchen items, so old kitchen items. And so yeah, you can see how flexible this is. So this follows the story of Jayne, and after the big fireworks display for the 4th of July event, she finds the body of one of her former friends on the ground. Next to her friend is one of her Depression-era glass bowls. So Jayne is considered a suspect. And from there on, somehow Jayne has to solve this mystery to clear her name and figure out what happened to her friend. And I read the first book in the series, A Deadly Grind, and I really enjoyed it. It was a lot of fun. I like Victoria Hamilton's writing style, and I'm really excited to jump into this one. So the next prompt is new. So this could be an author that's new to you, a new release, a new series, anything like that. So the book I'm reading is Death on Tap by Ellie Alexander. If you've been watching my channel, you know that Ellie Alexander is probably my favorite cozy mystery author, and this is a new series to me. I haven't read this. So this follows the story of Sloane Krause, and she is really into microbreweries, and when she and her husband Mac become estranged, she gets a job at the new up-and-coming microbrewery Nitro, and all is going well until the owner of Nitro is found dead and her estranged husband Mac is arrested on suspicion of being the murderer. So Sloane has to try to figure out what really happened in order to clear Mac's name. And Ellie Alexander always has really good character development, and her stories are really realistic. And normally cozy mysteries are pretty cheesy sometimes, but her books aren't. They're really fun, and I'm really excited to read this one. So I lied. The next prompt was again. So this was my book for again because I'm reading this author again. Sorry. So the next prompt is new, and the book I'm reading is A Study in Scarlet. So used to Sherlock Holmes. The next book I'm reading is A Study in Charlotte by Brittany Cavallaro, and this follows the descendants of Sherlock Holmes and Watson, and I've heard nothing but good things about this book. The last thing Jamie wants is a rugby scholarship to Sherringford, a Connecticut prep school just an hour away from his estranged father. But that's not the only complication. Sherringford is also home to Charlotte Holmes, the famous detective's great-great-great-granddaughter, who has inherited not only Sherlock's genius but also his volatile temperament. From the moment they meet, there's a tense energy between them, and they seem more destined to be rivals than anything else. But when a Sherringford student dies under suspicious circumstances, ripped straight from the most terrifying of the Sherlock Holmes stories, Jamie can no longer afford to keep his distance. Jamie and Charlotte are being framed for murder. So they have to figure out what happened to clear their names. And I'm really excited to read this book. Normally, I'm pretty picky about Sherlock Holmes retellings or spin-offs, but this one I really think will be good because it's the great-great-great-grandchildren, and it's far enough away that it will still be realistic. So I'm really excited to check this one out. The next prompt is borrowed. So for this book, I do have the physical copy, but I'm going to borrow the audiobook from my local library, and that is Truly Devious by Maureen Johnson. I've been wanting to read this for so long because BookTube has been so hyped for it, and I think it'll be really good. So it follows Stevie Bell, who is a true crime aficionado, and she gets accepted into the Ellingham Academy, which is a school for students with special talents. And there is a mystery at Ellingham Academy because two people there were kidnapped and have not been seen since. And the only clue is a riddle that was left by someone called Truly Devious. So after Stevie enters the school, Truly Devious makes an appearance again. And Stevie has decided that she is going to solve this crime. So I'm really excited. I already have the second book, The Vanishing Stair, which I hope I really like this because I really want to read the second one too. But yeah, I think it'll be good. And the last main prompt is blue. And for this I chose The Woman in the Window by A.J. Finn because of the blue cover. And this is an adult thriller, and I found out about it from Emma Books because she had nothing but good things to say. And I've heard that this is a really good edge of your seat kind of thriller. This follows the story of Anna Fox in New York, and she lives alone and she enjoys spying on her neighbors. And one night when she's spying, the family across the road, who seems like the perfect family, something happens and Anna sees something that she shouldn't. And now she kind of has to figure out what's real. Did she imagine it? And it just escalates from there. And it sounds so good, and it kind of almost sounds like a Hitchcock plot. So I'm really excited to check this one out. I think it'll be really good. Finally, the bonus prompt is to read a book or a mystery that's featuring a wedding. And I didn't have anything on my shelves that I could think of that featured a wedding or had some kind of wedding theme. So I have this book on my Kindle. It is Tying the Knot, and it's book 5 in the Southern Quilting Mystery Series. And the synopsis says, wedding bells are ringing in Dappled Hills, North Carolina, but when the festivities take an unexpected turn, quilter Beatrice Coleman must get crafty and catch a killer wedding crasher. Everyone loves a wedding, and with the sister of Beatrice's beau about to say I do, Beatrice and the village quilters are pitching in to help with the nuptial plans. They're hard at work making everything from wool to a quilt-shaped wedding cake. And all the talk of love and marriage has Beatrice thinking about her own budding romance with Wyatt. But after she stumbles across the body of the original best man at the end of the reception, Beatrice must stop threading her needle and start collecting clues. She, along with the village quilters, will need to turn all their attention to solving a murder before another victim gets cut out. So I have read the first book in this series and I really enjoyed it. It was a lot of fun. And the main character is a retired woman, and I can't remember what she did for a living, but she moved to Dappled Hills, North Carolina because her daughter lives there and she wanted to be closer to her family, and she was just accepted into the Village Quilters group and went from there. So I think that'll be a lot of fun. And the nice thing about all these books is I can double up on these if I don't think I can get to all of them. So the pressure isn't so high. So yeah. The next book I have is for the Cozy Mystery Book Club, hosted by protagonist and writer A. Hart. So I will link their channels down below. And the book for March is The Whole Cat and Caboodle by Sophie Ryan. And I love cats. And this looks like my Audrey. She's a little black cat. This is set in North Harbor, Maine. And can I just say that my goal in life is to move to Maine eventually. And I love anything set in Maine because it is one of my favorite places in the whole world and it's just gorgeous. So when I saw this was set in Maine, I bought it. I had to have it. So Sarah Garrison is the happy proprietor of Second Chance, a charming shop in the oceanfront town of North Harbor, Maine. At the shop, she sells used items that she lovingly refurbished and repurposed. But her favorite pet project so far has been adopting a stray cat she names Elvis. Elvis has seen 9 lives and then some. The big black cat with a scar across his nose turned up at a local bar when the band was playing the King of Rock and Roll's music, and he hopped into Sarah's truck. Since then, he has been her constant companion and the furry favorite of everyone who comes in the store. But when Sarah's elderly friend Maddie is found with the body of a dead man in her garden, the kindly old lady becomes the prime suspect in the murder. Even Sarah's old high school flame, investigator Nick Elliott, seems convinced that Maddie was up to no good. So it's up to Sarah and Elvis to clear her friend's name and make sure the real murderer doesn't get a second chance. So I think it'll be really good. And the nice thing about this book club is they always have a live show on the last Wednesday of every month, and it's so fun to participate. I participated in my first one last month when they discussed the murder at the Vicarage by Agatha Christie, and it was a lot of fun to discuss the book. So excited. And the last thing on my TBR is this huge Brobdingnagian book, The Priory of the Orange Tree by Samantha Shannon. I've actually started this book. I'm about 300 pages in. It has 848 pages, and that includes a glossary and a list of characters in the book, which is super helpful. It's really hard to explain what this book is about, so I'm just going to read you the synopsis because I can't explain it in a way that's going to make sense. So it says, a world divided, a queendom without an heir, an ancient enemy awakens. The house of Berethnet has ruled Innis for 1,000 years. Still unwed, Queen Sabran, the ninth, must conceive a daughter to protect her realm from destruction, but assassins are getting closer to her door. Iad Durian is an outsider at court. Though she has risen to the position of lady-in-waiting, she is loyal to a hidden society of mages. It keeps a watchful eye on Sabran, secretly protecting her with forbidden magic. Across the dark sea, Tanae has trained all her life to be a dragon rider, but is forced to make a choice that could make her life unravel. Meanwhile, the divided East and West refuse to parley, and forces of chaos are rising from their sleep. So, number 1, it's got dragons. What's not to like? This is my first Samantha Shannon book, and I'm really enjoying it so far. I got the audiobook as well, so I've been jumping between the audiobook and the physical book, and I really like the story so far. It took a minute to get into it because there are so many characters, but the character guide at the back makes it a whole lot easier to remember who's from the East, who's from the West, who's in the household, what's going on. And the glossary is really nice too. So I'm really enjoying this. I just got to a huge twist in the book and I can't stop reading it. And when I'm not reading it, I think about when I can read it next, which is always the sign of a good book. So yeah, if you guys read this, let me know what you think. And if you guys are participating in March Mystery Madness, let me know so that we can connect. And I want to see what you guys are reading in the month of March. If you like this video, make sure that you give it a thumbs up and click the subscribe button below. Make sure you click the bell icon so that you can be notified anytime I upload new content. I will see you guys next time. Bye.